Hi, and welcome back to our kitchen. Come in and sit down. I'm going to make you a traditional Irish side dish today. I've never made this before, but I've been wanting to for all these years. I made my corned beef and cabbage the other day in the Instant Pot. I'll link the video below that you can watch that. But what we have is a very simple recipe. And the name of this is Colcannon. Potatoes and cabbage, Irish side dish that I made gluten-free and dairy-free. Okay, first of all, I have a half of an onion, and that's this size of onion. It's a large one, so if you have small, cut the whole thing up. And I diced it. I wasn't real particular about getting a small dice on this, because we're going to cook it anyway. Then I have some leeks. Now what is that? It looks like this. It's a mild onion flavor vegetable. I've never cooked with them before, but I read the directions on the internet. Now this one I let sit in the refrigerator a little bit long. It's starting to wilt. So what I did is I took it down to about this size. Now what they told me about leeks is the way leeks grow up, they grow in sand. And so you need to get that sand out of there. So what I did is I cut it in half like this, and then cut it into little half rounds. By the time I got up here, I had whole rounds. And so we're going to fry that up too. And if you don't have leeks, you can use green onions, spring onions, and just be sure to use probably the green, because it's going to add color to your potatoes. And of course we have bacon. Bacon goes well with this dish. And about 2.5 pounds of potatoes that were thin-skinned white potatoes. And my husband mashed those up for me, and we'll be using those in the final dish. He mashed it with butter, which was plant-based butter, almond milk, and that'll go into our bowl when we mix everything together. I'm going to take you over the stove and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, I have my potatoes sitting on the back burner of the stove. This is electric stove, so I really have to watch it. On my gas stove I would put it on low, and it would keep my mashed potatoes warm for the holidays when I needed them to be put on the back burner while I fix the rest of the stuff. On electric, I kind of have to watch it. I do have this one on low, so I hope it works. Here I have a skillet, and I have the bacon grease I got off my bacon earlier. And what I did is I baked it in the oven. I put it on a sheet tray with foil, sprayed the foil with cooking oil, then laid it right on the sheet. I bake it for 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. Flip it over, and about 15 more minutes. Keep an eye on it because it can get overly done. This is the bacon grease. I'm going to add about a couple tablespoons. First of all, I'm going to do my onions and my leeks. Now you could add whatever seasonings you want to this, but basically salt and pepper was the only thing that they would add to it. So I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. And a little bit of salt. Not much because the bacon has salt in it. Now all this is going to go into one bowl to serve as a side dish, or if you don't want to serve it as a side dish, you can serve it as a meal. You could, on the side, serve it with bacon, like we have already done. I did about 8 pieces of bacon in there, by the way. You could serve it with bacon, smoked sausages, or corned beef if you have some left over from your corned beef and cabbage, or you can actually make more in the Instapot. That's how I made it. Okay, I'm going to let this cook down a little bit, and I'm going to add the cabbage and start frying that down. Now, cabbage is another thing. You have different ideas about it. The Irish like to boil it in water, salted water, and then drain it. We like our cabbage fried, so I'm going to fry it up with the onions and the leeks, and then that'll be good in our potatoes. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I've let my onions and leeks cook down a little bit. They're starting to get translucent, and I'm going to add my cabbage in here. Now there's a lot of water to the cabbage, but I'm going to add a little bit more water, just a touch. And I'm going to put the lid on and then stir it every once in a while and cook it down, fry it down, and I'll show you what that looks like when we come back. Okay, this is what it will look like after you've fried it for a while. We like our cabbage really soft, and actually it turned out nice and brown, and we also like that too. So I'm going to take you back over to the counter and show you how we're going to put this together. Here, and I actually have a fun food fact for you about this dish. Now this kind of threw me a little bit. Back in the traditional days, this was a Halloween dish. Now I'm thinking it's because the cold weather was coming in, or cool weather, and they liked it because it was warm and comfort food to them. But it was actually used as a celebration for marriage. Marriage divination, which meant seeing the future. Little charms, as in a king cake, were put in the mashed potatoes, and the lucky unmarried girl that got the little charm would be the next one to marry. Also, unmarried girls would spoon the Colcannon into socks, hang them over the front door, and the next man that walked through that door was going to be their husband. It was sort of like a supernatural, who's going to be my husband type thing, and I thought it was just a fun fact. And this was taken from Oxford Champion to Food. It's a book you can order on Amazon. Okay, I have my potatoes here, and I'm going to add the cabbage and the onion. Forgive me for pointing this so you can't see, but it's hard for me to hold this. Let me get a scooper. As you get older, things start getting heavier. Okay, get off of there. Now this is real soft, and it's the way we like it. Next, I'm going to add the bacon in here. I just got to eat this little piece. Now as you can see, my bacon is flat, crispy, and that comes from baking it in your oven. What I use here is scissors. Make sure they're kitchen shears, and you can wash them up as soon as you're done. Some of these come apart at the thing here, and you can take them apart and wash them really good. I don't think these ones do it, but we still wash them. Okay, now I'm going to stir this all together. The reason I put it on the top, everything on the top instead of the bottom, is I think it's, if you have them on the bottom, you won't get it stirred in good enough. As I said, I used about 2 pounds of white potatoes, quartered them, put them in a hot boiling, salted, got to make sure you salt the water, and boiled them for about 20 minutes. Then I checked them with a fork, and as long as the fork went in easily, then they were done. We like mashing our potatoes instead of whipping them with a hand mixer. I've done them both ways, and I used to do a lot of hand mixer. But I found out that they kind of get, I don't know, gummy, or they're too mixed together and too broken up. So we went to where we mash them with a masher, and cameraman Paul does that for me. And next I have more butter. I never said this was a healthy dish. And I'm going to put this over the top. Again, it's plant-based butter. Sorry. And then you serve it on the table like that. Thank you for coming to my channel today. I wanted to get this in before St. Patty's Day because, of course, I'm Irish. And I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe, push the bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye.